Welcome along to this video, especially for Ridge Radio presenters who would like to edit their recorded shows ready for rebroadcasting. The software that I use is a free piece of software called Audacity. If you don't have it, go ahead and open Google and type in Audacity and go to download, and you can download it for Windows or for Mac. I'm going to do it for Windows, and I would always download the smaller download without the user manual. And click on that and it will be that one, and then it will download. So if you haven't got it, go ahead and get it, install it onto your PC, and then come back to this video. So I'm going to assume that you've now got Audacity, and let's open it up for the first time. So it looks like that. Okay, let's make it slightly smaller. And as it is the first time, what I want you to do is to go ahead and get a song from, any song you've got. I'm going to just pick that one and drag it in to Audacity. Now remember, it has to be an MP3. Audacity will not accept MP4, a WAV file, or a WMA. You'll have to get them converted before you even try this. Okay? So as this is your first time, we're not editing this file. We're just going to go to File, Export, Export as MP3. It'll ask you where you want to export it to. There's the file name. It is an MP3. Now these bits here are important. The bitrate mode should be constant. The quality 128 kbps. Now I'll explain that a bit more in a minute. And channel mode should be stereo. Once you've set these or checked that these are correct, you don't need to touch them again. So go save. The artist name is correct. The track title is correct. You don't need anything else. If there is other stuff there, don't worry about it. Just go OK, and it will export it to my desktop. Okay, so let's minimize this, and there it is. So if I right click on it, properties, that's the file name, and there's the details, and there's the length, and there's that bit rate again. So let me explain the bit rate. That bit rate is the quality that the download is of the song. Does that make sense? So the quality of the song is 128 kbps. Now you will find some songs are 320, and you can, in Audacity, you can change it. However, if I go export as MP3, here I could change it. Now there's no point in me changing it because I can't make the quality of this song any better than its original quality. So whatever bit rate it was downloaded as, and in the studio on the library, most of the songs are going to be 128. Not all. You'll find some songs that are 320, but most of them are going to be 128. But for radio, 128 is fine. But don't try and change it to 320 because it's pointless. It doesn't do anything. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is get rid of this song out of Audacity. So File, Close, and it will come up with this box, and we don't want to do anything with it, so go No. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to get a piece of one of my shows and put it in Audacity. Okay, so there it is. So up here, that will make sure we're at the front end of it, and that will play.
Your community, your radio. This is your...
Okay, so that's going into the news. Well, obviously I don't want that, and I don't want the news. So I use this button here to zoom in. And experience tells me If I zoom in a bit more, that there is the jingle, that is the news, because that looks like talking, and that looks like music. Shall we test that?
Yesterday, Vice President Mike Pence says they've decided to completely restrict travel.
Okay, so that's the news. And let's click just somewhere here.
Here we come.
Okay, so that is my start of my show. So what I want to do is get rid of all this, the jingle and the news. But what I'm not going to click right up to the music there. I'm going to click sort of just before it, and I'm going to get rid of all of that. And I use the scissors to cut it. Now, if I'm unhappy with what I've just done, I can click that, and it'll give it back to me. Let's get rid of it. Now let's zoom into that. Okay, so that's a bit still of the news.
I'm Kieran Bangle.
Dear old Kieran. And we're going to get rid of that. Now I can click that green button, or I can click the space bar to play.
Here we come.
Okay, so that's fine. So let's zoom back out. And let's go to the end. Now it looks like the end just cuts off suddenly. So let's click there and zoom in. And yes, it clearly does. So let's play that.
No love.
That's not very nice. So what we want to do is we want to fade that out at the end. So this is where you start using these buttons. This one is a very useful tool. So you click on that and click somewhere there. Make sure that that's right, so you can see that. Grab the end, and there you go. And then click back on this I button, because that's so that you're not using that other button, it's playing. And go
No love.
till it fades there. That's fine. So we're going to zoom back out, make sure we're at the front end, and zoom right out, and play.
Here we come.
So what we might want to do is put a jingle at the front end. So we're going to be using this button here. First we click on that button and just move that, make a space. And then we're going to go to our adverts and jingles. Grab this, it can be any jingle, it doesn't matter. And there's the jingle there. So let's zoom in a bit more so we can see what we're doing. Let's go in more. Right, so what we can do is drag that up there. And then we don't need this now. And then we can drag this along. Click that button. But you can see an obvious problem there. So let's zoom in a bit more. Okay, so that would all be dead air. So what we'd do is we'll get rid of that. Just highlight it, chop it off. We could even highlight that little bit there and chop it off if you wanted. And let's play it from the beginning.
Welcome to Ridge Radio, playing the best of local and worldwide music.
Here we come.
Okay, so we might want to put one at the end. Let's go to there, and let's. What we'll do first is we'll go and get a jingle. Doesn't matter what it is. Let's just grab this one, put it in there, close that, and it will always put it at the front. There we go. But I want it over there, so I'm going to click that button again. That gives me the ability to move this, and I can pop it up there. Okay. Now I don't need this. And what I can do is just, I need to go back here and click this button here. And then I can zoom in. Let's zoom in a bit more. And it looks like there's a bit of space there. Now I could just chop that out. And okay. So then what we want to do is we want to export this because we're finished with it. I tell you what we'll do. I'm going to just zoom out go back to the beginning. Now, can you see anything wrong? Well, I can, because this jingle looks louder than the rest of this music. So that's quite significant, really, because we could actually change that. So if we highlight that, we can then go to Effect, Amplify, and Audacity gives us an idea of what we want to do with it. So we could make it a lot quieter. We wouldn't want to do that, would we? So what we do, Effect, Amplify. Let's just do what Audacity wants us to do. That's not too bad. Yeah, we can do that with any part of the recording if we wanted to. So highlight, Effect. You can play around forever. You wouldn't want to do that though, would you? So we're finished with this. We're going to export it. Export as MP3. We're going to call it AMAC Test 1. All this is set. And we're going to save. Now it's automatically put the name of the jingle that we stuck on the end in there. So let's get rid of that. And click OK. Now, if you are importing and exporting to our show, it's going to take a lot longer than that to export it. Equally, it's going to take a lot longer than that to import it. So let's go File. We want to get rid of this, so close. This will always be no, and that empties it. Right? So there is the file that we've just done.
Welcome to Ridge Radio, playing the best of local and worldwide music.
Here we come.
Okay, so let's go to something else now. I've got a piece of somebody else's show which I'm going to just grab into there, and I'm going to open it out. Now this is Peter Coleman, who's our Friday night presenter. He's on from 8 until 10. Now this was one of his early shows, and I noticed that there are some problems right there and right there. In your shows you might find that you've made a mistake, and there is a hole like that. Now let's listen to that. For me, dead air like that is not very good. So if you've made that mistake, you can just go zoom in and you can cut that out. So it goes like that. Okay, that seems all right. So that's better. So let's zoom out. So you could do it here as well. Zoom back in. Let's just grab that, delete that out, have a listen. That sounds nice. So let's zoom back out. Now for me, I think there's one up here that looks a bit dodgy, so let's go into it. Let's have a listen. It's okay, it's not too bad, but for me dead air is one of my pet hates, so I would just get rid of it.
Nights, 8 till 10.
There we go. So that's it. So then we just go File again, export as MP3, give it a name. This is all correct. Save it. Oh, I've already done it once, so click yes. Oh, I'm not going to do that. But you see what I mean. So let's close. Get rid of that. Close it down. And that's all there is to it. thank you for listening to this video. I'm going to do another video tomorrow, if I can, that will help you to record a show from home. If I can do that, I will. Thank you for listening.